Welcome everybody to Dead Talk Live, and today we have a special guest, Anthony Oseyemi. Anthony, thank you for being here with us. How you doing today?
I'm good, my brother. Thank you for having me.
It is
I'm very
our
well.
it is our pleasure. Thank you for being here. And I was surprised to learn that you are also a musician. Okay, you have a record out called 21 Days of Lockdown. Tell us about
Yeah.
that because that was a surprise to me.
Okay, well, I kind of performing arts background, so acting, music, they've always gone hand in hand with me. I think basically I started as an actor and I've always been a musician, always loved singing and writing. So 21 Days happened in that period of lockdown where there was more time to be creative. So
Hmm.
it's just something that happened and it was pretty organic. And I just enjoyed getting back to writing music again because it'd been a while. I mean, the last album I put out was over 20 years ago now.
Wow.
And it was just a real pleasure just to get back to writing music. And there was a lot of things happening in the time, of lockdown. So a lot of the stuff I was writing was reflective and topical and kind of also a reflection of how I was feeling at the time,
And
because
how
people
the
were people going through the most.
Exactly. Everybody was going through a rough patch. Everybody was locked
Yeah.
down, quarantined, and talking to a lot of people. A lot of artists just found ways to make it work from their homes, being creative from their homes, and it's
Yeah.
amazing how that worked out. So, if you were to pick, I know this is a kind of a hard choice, but you said you started out in the music recording industry and then acting sort of took over. Where does your true passion lie? Is it music, acting, or they're both equal?
My true passion is storytelling. And I think storytelling uses music, uses performance, uses writing, uses acting, uses stagecraft, I think, yeah, I'm a storyteller. And I think the older I've got, the more I appreciate the facets that are involved with it, if you know what I mean.
Yeah.
Because one thing you can hear a line of melody that evokes and says so much, and then the other can be done through physical expression or movement or just a performance. So I feel like music and acting live in the same space for me. They're both tools in terms of relating and telling stories and engaging with people.
Now you have a theatrical background. Tell
Yeah.
us how the shift happened for you, going from the stage to being in front of a camera.
Okay, so I literally started with Lewisham Youth Theatre as a stage actor, which is based in Southeast London, and they're amazing. Our director at the time was Lucy Richardson, and we were lucky enough to do a project called Pakama, which in Zulu means rise up, lift up, elevator. Pakama, we came to South Africa and we performed, and then the South African group came to London and it was on the stage that an agent saw me, my agent, Sharon Henry, and she was like, why don't you come and join the agency and do some auditions? And I did. And that was kind of my transition into becoming not just an actor on stage, but an actor in television and film.
What's the
And
big?
thinking back on it, yeah, it was cool. I really enjoyed it.
I bet it was. So, in your timeline, you're native from South Africa. Is theater what brought you to London?
No, in my timeline, I'm native. So I was born in London and
Oh,
I'm of
okay.
Nigerian descent. And I came to South Africa it's the first time via Lewisham Youth Theatre doing the London International Festival of Theatre, doing this
Mm,
project I was telling you about, Copacabana.
yeah.
So that's how I ended up here, and I've been here for a period of time. It was kind of I fell in love with the space and the place and kind of the essence and the people in the country. So I've been here for now on and off for the last 20 years working, coming between here, London, and West Africa, Nigeria, my original homeland. So it's been a very interesting and fascinating journey because also it's been a lot of growth
Oh, yeah.
creatively and as a human being, you know what I mean? Because when you step outside your comfort zone and choose to live somewhere you're not born, it changes your perspective on things
Yes.
and expands your horizons, which I think is necessary for all of us
Do you
because it
st-
helps you connect.
exactly? Do you still do stage work, or you're strictly screen actor
No,
now?
I just haven't had the opportunity really. I've been thinking about that lately, actually. Thinking of doing a maybe a two-hander with a particular actor friend of mine who I think would be phenomenal on stage because he's just got such a great presence. I've just finished shooting with him. His name's Sisanda Henna, and we're very good friends. And I'm thinking that I need to get him on stage with me, and we need to do something interesting.
That would be very very interesting.
Yeah.
How would you call opportunities, since you're resident now in South Africa, for actors in South Africa? Is there a lot of opportunity? Is there not so much opportunity? How would you describe it?
I think there's the same as everywhere. There's a lot of opportunity, but with opportunity comes the other side of kind of how production is going. Because production suffered quite a lot because acting is a very social skill, as you know. So
Hmm.
a lot of the industry is recovering from the period of Corona, which is still here.
Oh yeah,
And we're learning how to manage that and initiate protocols that allow us to work safely and also regularly. So I think opportunities are much the same as they are everywhere in the world. I think the industry here is a little younger in some aspects in terms of kind of development and infrastructure, but that comes with the territory
yeah.
as well as resources. So if you're lucky, you're good, and if you're good, you're lucky. But I also think it's about, as always, the way you treat your craft,
Yeah,
how you approach what you do. Because also the other thing about now is it's a content creators market in a very specific way, if that makes sense. So
it
if you're an
does.
actor and you're smart and you can be creative, you can carve out anything you want, I think.
As
And it's you
opposed to, yeah, as opposed to just sitting by the phone and waiting for opportunities to come to
yes,
you.
because I think that that period of time is now changing where people, us actors, particularly creatives, sit by the phone waiting. If you can make your own way, then you can do anything. And I
Absolutely.
think that is the future.
I totally agree. I totally agree. Now, I was introduced to you, as I'm sure a lot of people around the world, on Dead Places, okay?
Yeah.
Which is available. I saw it on Amazon Prime. It's available, I'm assuming, in the
Yeah.
majority of the world. You play an author, Will. You co
Yeah.
star along
Will
with
Stone.
Shamila, who was also a guest of
Yeah.
ours, and Rhea.
Nice.
You guys
Yeah.
make a wonderful trio. How did the part of Will Stone come your way?
Well, the guys from Motion Story, I'd worked with them before on a previous show they'd done. I was a guest actor on a show they did called Shadow, and we struck it off really well. It was a good vibe. Really enjoyed shooting with them, and they're a very interesting group of creatives. They come up with some fantastic stuff. So they were telling me about this new project that they were possibly going to do called Dead Places, and I was like, okay. They tell me it's an author but in from London, and obviously because I've got the accent, it was a nice opportunity for me to get in there and give them an audition for the character,
Uh-huh.
and they loved it. They took to it, so I was like, yeah, fantastic. It was a really great opportunity. Really enjoyed the character, and as you said, it's a very nice connection between myself, Shamila, and Ria. I think we've definitely got a very specific chemistry when the three of us were on
Oh
screen.
yeah.
So I'm also looking to facilitate something that gets the three of us back together on screen again in terms of production. So yeah, no, I feel you. The motion story guys are really cool. They're doing something soon as well. You must look out for a feature film of theirs called Office Invasion.
Oh, we will.
Yeah,
Now,
no,
now, because Dead Places had, let's say, a wider release around the world, did you find that really helped your career, moving it forward? More people got to see you. I got to see you. I mean, like I said, the first time I saw you was on Dead Places, and I was really, really impressed with your work. Not only you, with Shamila and Rhea. Do you feel Dead Places
thank you.
opened up a lot of doors?
Yeah, no, I mean, it was fantastic because the response from people, they really, really enjoyed the show. And always when you're in a piece that gives you an opportunity to work as one of the three leads, you can't complain. Do you know what I mean? So you just have to get in there and do the best job you can and have as much fun as you can and really play. So I'm really grateful for the opportunity to have played that character and lived that role. It's been fantastic. And it's definitely opened up opportunities in terms of moving forward into other roles, other characters, and also to create space for yourself as an active creative. So that it's been a lot of fun since the show. I'm looking forward to the three of us getting together again, as I've said, because I think it's something that definitely really works.
It
And yeah,
does.
it's been great to do the show.
You guys
It's
have
been really good
this
exposure.
you guys have this really great on-screen chemistry that just clicks and works. So your character is a sort of a paranormal author.
Yeah.
Did this character push you outside of your acting comfort zone and made you explore boundaries that you never really explored before?
No, not in that sense, because I'm a bit of a geek. So things like I like the paranormal, I like sci-fi. So I was just very excited to get in there and play him and add some different textures and tones to him and really just see what I could do with him. Um, on an emotional level, it was nice to play there because also it just added a different level to the character to see his vulnerability and kind of the things he was going through, and also what haunted him and what drove him. Because people do and believe certain things based on what they've experienced. You know what I
Hmm.
mean? We are that way as creatures. So
Yeah.
I love to think of it in the sense that there are never really heroes and villains, just motivations and desires that drive us. And depending on what perspective you're coming from, you know what I mean? You're
Yeah.
either the hero or the villain in the piece. But he was a very interesting character to play because I liked his dry wit. He was,
Yeah.
he's very much a deadpan, and he had a very great contrast to Ria's character as
Yeah.
well, and
I,
then Shamila also, because
I
he was just very like, really, guys, you know,
yeah.
he believed in what he did,
Yeah.
but he was never overwhelmed by it
No, no.
until it was in relation to his sister. I think
Yeah.
that part of it
And
maybe overwhelmed him because he was running away from it essentially as a character.
and
And as
speak
human beings in life, I think there are certain things all of us run away from, whether it
exactly.
be as serious as the trauma or the fact that maybe eating that leg of lamb isn't so good for you, but you're going to eat it anyway. So
Exactly. That hits the nail on the head. And speaking of your sister, they gave all three of you, the writers gave all three of you your own unique backstories. Basically, you guys were fighting your own demons. Your
yeah,
character with your sister, Shamila, who plays Kelly, and her abduction, Rhea, what's going on with his divorce, and so on. And I liked how the writers led us into the lives of all the three characters. When you were going through the script, did you like that aspect as well? That we got to know these characters on a personal level?
yeah, I know Gareth Crocker, the writer, he's very good at doing that with his characters and kind of giving you space to get to know them and see their strengths and weaknesses. I When I read it, the other part of it that I really enjoyed was obviously the touches and tones of humor because I mean, life isn't always roses, but the
No.
point is, even in the most weird, strange, and disheartening moments, there are moments of comedy that, in spite of yourself, you will you will end up having a little chuckle or laughing and thinking, "How did I end up in this situation?" Like, you know what I mean? How are we here right now? What's going on? So for me, I mean, I really like Garrett's writing because I also feel it's not too dense, but
Hmm.
it's just enough to put for people when they're watching for their armor to go down and to be engaged with the characters, if that makes
Exactly.
sense. You know what I mean?
Exactly. As a
It
viewer, you become sympathetic and you connect with the characters.
yeah,
I
there's
think
a
that's
warmness to it.
that's a big driving
Warmth.
force behind the show. Now, moving forward in your career, what's on the horizon for you as far as whether it's the music or movies, television, theater? What do you have in store?
Okay, so as an actor, there should be out soon, I think, coming out on Netflix, which will definitely is part of the it's definitely in the horror genre.
Uh,
It's the Umbrella Corporation, but you know it well as we've seen Mila Jovovich do it, but now there's a series coming
Resident
out.
Evil.
Yeah.
In fact, it's weird that you bring that up. Just this morning, I got an email from Netflix about Resident Evil that is premiering in July. So you're a part of that?
Yeah, the series. Because there's also a
I
film
got
out as
that
well, but
email
I'm in the
about
series.
I mean, it's the first time I
Yeah.
heard about it, and I got email. You know, I'm on Netflix publicity list, and they send me emails, and I actually reached out to them. That's very cool. So you're a part of
Yeah.
that. Is that
Looking forward to that.
was that exciting for you to do?
Yeah, it's a lot of fun. Man, any opportunity to run around being chased by zombies. I'm up for it. Do you know what I mean? It was good fun, a good crew, good cast, good energy. Yeah, I really enjoyed it. And the character I played particularly, I enjoyed him. He was different than Will, but also he had that hard wittiness to him
Yeah, that charisma.
unintentionally. So he was
Yeah.
a, he was a, he was a very cool character. Really enjoyed him.
Do you,
So on the acting front, that's coming up, and then also completed two films as a director. So they've been in the edit. One is a thriller set in a salsa club. The other one is a comedy set in a boardroom.
nice.
So that was a lot of fun. We've shot those. They're in post. Looking forward to seeing them coming through Shandu Productions. And then another from my own production company, Antagonist Studio, along with my partner Oscar Barbie. We've got a Z State coming out, a British zombie movie that's gonna start shooting at the end of this year. So I'm excited about that. Looking forward to that.
So you're very, very
There's
busy. Do
Well, we're
you
trying, and then there's Promised Land, which is the retelling of the story of Abraham.
nice.
So that's going to be interesting in the genre.
Do
And
you,
then what's the other one? T Junction, which is a horror comedy, and I love me some comedy. So like those are the things coming up for
that
us.
that is so awesome. Do you find that you it sounds like your work takes you all over the world. I mean, is that a fairly accurate statement?
Yeah, look, I'm really blessed and grateful that I can make a living doing what I do. Do you know what I
Hmm.
mean? And I've had the opportunity to see some fantastic places and meet some amazing people, and long may it continue. So, yeah, I mean, I love doing what I do. I'm a storyteller, which
Yeah.
means I act, which means I write, which means I produce, which means I direct. And I think doing what we do is a fantastic opportunity for us to challenge the way people think, inspire them, and give them comfort when they need it. So I try always to take my craft really seriously because I also consider it a gift in the
Yes.
space and what it can do. You know
Do,
what I mean?
do you like working the full spectrum of genres from comedy to horror and drama and not boxing yourself into a particular
Yeah, no,
category?
yeah, no, I definitely work the full genre because for me it means I'm always being challenged. I'm always challenging myself. And what's been really interesting is with the movies we've done and the stuff is also I got a chance to record. So we wrote a theme tune for one of the films, which we're busy sorting now and kind of doing post and setting up to shoot a music video for, which will also help push the film and engage the audience out there. So it just allows me to fully use my skill set in a really positive manner, I think.
That is so awesome. For our audience, the album 21 Days of Lockdown, it's available on Spotify, Apple Music, anywhere really where you can purchase music. You guys should go check it out. Dead Places is available on AMC Plus, at least here in the United States. I don't know where it is in other places of the world. Check that out. That's a great series as well. Anthony is going to be in the upcoming Resident Evil. AMC, I don't know if they've publicly announced it. I know I got the publicity email today, so I think they have
It's
announced
about to
it.
happen, huh?
Yeah, it is being announced. There is a Resident Evil series that is premiering on Netflix in July. And
Yeah.
that's very exciting as well. Anthony's going to be a part of that. Anthony, I want to thank you so much for coming on here. Any final thoughts you want to share before we go?
To be honest, guys, it's pretty tough out there. Lots of people are dealing with lots of things, but I will say this: we can do anything,
Yeah,
and if we put our minds and our hearts and our souls to it, it's all possible. So
absolutely.
when it's deep, go deeper.
Go deeper and make your own opportunities. Thank you so much, Anthony. Thank you so much to our viewers who've tuned in live and those who will be watching later. On behalf of Anthony and myself, stay safe, guys, and stay walking. Bye bye.